Hey y'all, thanks for tuning in. Today I'm going to be answering some questions that I asked for from my family, and I got some great questions back, so I'm really excited about this video. So first, my mom asked, how do you keep and get soft lips? You can go out and buy a lip scrub that are usually pretty expensive, or you can make your own in your own kitchen. All you need is a little tub that has a screw top lid to keep it dry in the shower, or keep water out of it in the shower. And then you just need some olive oil. Any kind that you have is fine, doesn't have to be anything fancy. And fill the tin halfway up with olive oil. And then you just need some sugar. Once again, whatever you have in your kitchen, and fill the rest of the tin up with sugar. Just take a little bit every night and gently buff it onto your lips. Let the water rinse it off. And the olive oil is going to help moisturize and hydrate your lips. And the sugar is going to help take off any extra dead skin cells you may have. Along with that, use a lip balm at night. I swear by this one. It's the Rosebud Lip Salve. You can use whatever you feel comfortable using. This particular one is petroleum based. I know a lot of people don't like to use petroleum on their face, so you can use something that's beeswax based, or really anything that's going to moisturize and hydrate your lips. Just throw it on at night, and you'll notice within 2 weeks, if you do the combination of things, that your lips are going to feel so much healthier and softer. And I swear by it. This is what I do to keep healthy lips. My next question is from my aunt, and she asks about eyeshadow primer. Specifically, how do you use it, what's it for, and does it work? So, I swear by eyeshadow primer. I never ever wear eyeshadow without eyeshadow primer. And what it is a silicone-based primer that you just apply to your eyelids in a very small amount, and it helps the eyeshadow first adhere to your eyelid better, so you have less creasing, less moving around of the eyeshadow, and a much truer color payoff. What you see in the eyeshadow palette is what you get on your eyelid. As far as brands, my favorite by far is the Urban Decay eyeshadow potion. I also use the Too Faced Shadow Insurance. Unfortunately, these are both high-end brands. There's not really a drugstore alternative quite yet, although I'm sure one will be coming out soon that is worthwhile. But instead of an eyeshadow primer, you might have something like a cream shadow. This is Benefit's cream shadow, or even the Maybelline color tattoos in a nude color would work great. And you just need to apply a very sheer layer of a cream shadow if you're going to use that on your eye, because you also don't want creasing with that. I like to use a flat top brush like this one, a synthetic one, and I just take a little bit of the cream shadow and buff it on to my eyelid, and it gives a very sheer wash of color. I'm not even sure if the camera is going to be able to pick it up. It's just this little glowy part right here. But then I just apply my eyeshadow on top of it, and it helps it adhere. So those are some good alternatives. What I don't recommend using is a concealer. If you use concealer on your eyelids, you really run the risk of creasing, just because the concealer is so thick and it's not meant for eyeshadow to adhere to. So I never really recommend for people to use concealer on their eyelids. Stick with an eyeshadow primer. If you have like veins or anything in your eyelids that you're concerned about, you can use a tinted eyeshadow primer like this one. This is from Urban Decay. This is from Urban Decay as well, and it's yellow tinted, so it'll kind of get rid of any yellowness or any veins that may be visible. But I want to show you all the difference between using an eyeshadow primer and not. I'm just taking a little bit of my Urban Decay shadow potion and rubbing it in right here, and just letting that sit for a second while I grab my eyeshadows. And I want to swatch two areas of the same exact eyeshadow, and this is where I applied the primer potion. So, and this area has no primer potion. So that's that area. That's that area. Can you see? You can obviously see the difference. This color payoff is so much better, so much brighter. The shimmer is actually like it was in my palette. And look at the blendability here. Super blendable, and I still have that great color payoff. I blend out here, and it immediately shears out. So you can really tell the difference between using an eyeshadow primer, and you can see that it's definitely worth the investment to have one in your kit to use, just to get your eyeshadow exactly like it was when you bought it. My next question comes from my stepmom, and it's, I have short eyelashes but don't like to use a curler because they fall out. What is the best mascara for me to use to get length and curl? So for short eyelashes, you need to remember two things. One, the size of the brush head, and two, the formula of the mascara. So when you're shopping for mascaras, the size of the brush head you're looking for short eyelashes is a very small wand. It can be long, but you don't want it to be very wide. And you want the bristles to be either plastic or they could actually be in bristle form, but they need to be very short bristles. What not a lot of people know is on the back of mascara boxes, there's usually a picture of the actual brush. This is a great thing to look at before you actually purchase a mascara. So you can see, is this what I want for my mascara, or is it too big? You know, you never really know what you're getting into if you just buy the mascara based on what it claims to do. Also, you want to keep in mind the formula. For short mascaras, you want a tubular forming mascara. And what that means is if this is the length of your eyelash, it's going to help elongate your eyelash and help get you that flare that you're looking for with a mascara. A lot of the tubular formulas though, like these two for example, both by Maybelline, are tricky because if you look at the actual brush, it's huge. This would not work for short eyelashes. You need something that is skinnier and is going to help give you that length that you need and not make you poke your eyeball out because the brushes' heads are so big. So I recommend something like this. This is the Clinique High Impact Mascara. Notice how small those bristles are. They're really going to help you get into your lash line and wiggle out. And I've also heard great things about the L'Oreal Telescopic Mascara. I've seen the brush. It's extremely small and the formula is supposed to really help lengthen and give you that flare for your eyelashes. So one of my friends asks about aging and how do I get more youthful looking skin? People always confuse me for being much older than I am. So if you're in your 20s and you're already being confused being much older than you are, your best bet is to follow a skincare regimen. This is going to be a very short overview. I'm going to go into detail in a video later. But my best recommendation is, of course, wear sunscreen. I know this is drilled into our heads all the time. This is a great formula. It really works and it's sweat-proof, waterproof, really helps stick onto your skin and give you that sun protection you need. Great for guys. And then at night, definitely cleanse your skin. Get all of that dirt and impurities and makeup if you're a woman out of your skin. And I always recommend a foaming formula to just really help pull it out. You can use any brand in the drugstore. As long as it says foaming, you should be getting the results that you need. Also, exfoliation is really important if you're experiencing premature aging. Getting that dead skin that's on the surface off really helps give you more bright, glowing, dewy, youthful looking skin. And that can be achieved by any scrub, once again, in the drugstore that a brand you might like or anything to just help remove that skin and get new skin promotion. And also you need to moisturize at night. I always recommend a really thick night moisturizer. Even if you have oily skin, it really helps moisturize, hydrate, get those wrinkles to be a little less visible when you wake up. And if you keep on a regimen like that, you should be experiencing much more youthful looking skin over the course of a couple of weeks. And then lastly, my friend with oily skin asks, what light foundation do you recommend for oily skin? I actually don't recommend a light foundation. What I recommend is a matte foundation. Now, unfortunately, matte foundations are usually super thick, and I can't really stand them. But the great thing about it is that you can use a brush like this one. This is a Sigma Flat Top Kabuki, and you can wet it. I always recommend wetting brushes if you're going to use a matte foundation. And then you just apply some onto your hand. Unfortunately, the only matte foundations I have are high-end, but you can really find anyone at the drugstore. Or I have eyeshadow on there from earlier. But you just squirt some on the back of your hand, take your wet synthetic brush. Doesn't need to be dripping. You just run it under the sink, then rub it off on a towel. And then dab it on like this onto your brush. And then buff it onto your skin, and what the wet brush does is give you a much lighter, sheerer wash of color, but you still have the mattifying effects of the foundation, which is what you need for oily skin. So you're not going to the full spectrum of like a full face foundation, but you're still getting the effects. Well, I hope that this answered some of y'all's questions. I really enjoyed doing this. It was really fun, made me kind of rack my brain for answers or different things I could tell y'all. I look forward to my next video installment with this, and definitely leave any questions you have in the comments below. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.